Now, hours before Donald Trump's new worldwide tariffs are set to take hold, the American president has said that foreign leaders essentially groveling to avoid the new tariffs.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
His decision to impose tariffs on foreign trade partners is prompting governments across the world to announce countermeasures against U.S. exports. But Trump has told a group of Republicans that he knows what he's doing. The White House says nearly 70 countries have reached out looking to begin negotiations on reducing the impact of Trump's tariff policy. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has said that deals will be made if they benefit American workers and address chronic trade deficits. Trump has directed his team to work on tailor-made deals for each country that reaches out. And our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us more details on this from New York. Listen to it.
While the White House says that many leaders have indicated that they've sought or secured an audience with President Trump and they're willing to negotiate on tariffs, President Trump's assertive remarks at the dinner likely mask deeper concerns. First of all, China is not budging. Despite the heavy tariff announcement, China appears to be holding firm rather than rushing to the negotiating table. Beijing's lack of urgency suggests they've prepared for a drawn-out standoff. Whether or not they can afford it, that's another question. They're testing Trump's leverage and potentially weakening the optics of his so-called tough deal-maker persona. And then there's the issue of market volatility. U.S. markets have continued their adverse run since the new tariffs were unveiled. And in short, while President Trump is projecting dominance at this political event, signs of resistance, even among his own party, are visible on Capitol Hill. After all, Republicans haven't been able to pass legislation, notably regarding spending. So while President Trump may have an international audience, he also has a domestic one as well.
All right, for more on this, we are now being joined live by Terrell Yu Jones. He is a former China correspondent, now teaching at Claremont McKenna College, California. Terrell, thank you so much for joining me here on the broadcast. Those choice of words by the U.S. president, do you expect world leaders to be going into a tizzy at this point? He's claiming that there are some 70 countries, they're dying to make a deal. Where does that throw all these countries at this point? What comes from those deals when this is the language that comes prior to it?
Good evening. It's not the kind of language that will really encourage people to want to come in good faith to the negotiating table. But it is typical of the way Donald Trump likes to speak and trying to draw attention or create the impression that he is the one in control and that people are coming to see him. He's not going to see others. Regardless of how the countries actually feel, many of them probably think they don't have much choice otherwise, other than to come and try to seek to negotiate a way out of these tariffs. And they probably will put aside the language to get results that will help them and their economies.
At this point, Terrell, the tariffs which have been imposed, do you feel it is going to make world leaders tip to a point where, regardless of what language is being used or what tone it is setting, even before any deal or any meeting is happening, even then the countries are compelled to come and bow down and just agree to that tailor-made deal that Trump is offering at this point?
Well, in the United States, a lot of people see Donald Trump being Donald Trump. That's just the way he is. And to look past the rhetoric and language and try to go toward the substance and results. I think that's what many countries will try to do because so many others are also doing it. Most of them are not standing up against the Trump administration in retaliation. And so there is a sort of reluctant willingness to go ahead despite the kind of language and atmosphere.
Terrell, now let me just come to your area of expertise as well, the US-China ties, and you've studied this in depth. Give me an understanding of where the friction there is leading, because these are the two world's largest economies going head-to-head at this point. 104% is what Trump has now said in terms of tariffs. China says they're going to fight till the end. How do you see this one going forward?
I see it potentially lasting quite a while. China is not going to stand down, even with 104% tariffs that go into effect literally within the hour. China's Commerce Ministry has already issued a statement saying that we will resolutely take countermeasures and will impose tariffs, retaliatory tariffs of their own against many exports from the United States. But there are also other measures that China could take that don't directly involve tariffs, such as putting restrictions on different kinds of critical elements that the United States needs to import for high technology and other manufacturing purposes, to essentially blacklist American companies from doing business in China by putting them on what they call unreliable entity lists. I think Xi Jinping probably feels that this is helpful to him. It detracts attention away from the Chinese economy, which still hasn't recovered fully from COVID, and it presents a sort of a common front adversary for Xi Jinping to rally the nation, the entire nation, which is, in this case, then the United States.
Well, I hear your point, Terrell. So as far as China is concerned, you don't see them backing off in terms of, regardless of what tariffs are being imposed by the US president. And in terms of the other countries, there is going to be, as you mentioned, reluctant willingness to still go ahead and find some kind of common ground, regardless of what kind of language. Just see Donald Trump for what he is, and that's the way he speaks, and just make peace with that. But there will be a lot more to discuss as we move forward, because of the way things are changing. Tariffs really seem to be stirring up a major trade war at this point. Thank you so much for joining me. That was Terrell Jones joining us from California.